हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू आवर चैनल माय ट्यूटर। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपके अपने चैनल माय ट्यूटर पर। दोस्तों, न्यू टू माय चैनल, काइंडली सब्सक्राइब एंड हिट द बेल आइकन सो दैट यू डोंट मिस द न्यू अपडेट्स. So today's topic is about blobby surfaces, and we will see the option now. So for that, first of all, what we are going to do is we are going to change our set menu to FX, and from there I'm going to N particles, and N particles pay. I'm just going to click on create emitter. So as soon as I click on create emitter, so my emitter is available. I'll just pull it upside, simply rewind and play. We can see particles are flowing downside, and I'll select the particles and move on to attribute editor, or you can press Ctrl A. Okay. So next what we are going to do is we are going to see the options for the different types of particle render types. Okay. So into particle render type, currently what we can see here is it is points. If I try to render this, by default Arnold is there, and what I'll do here is if I try to render this, but before that I'm supposed to have a light into this. So I'll get into lights and I'll say sky dome light, and I'll just render. So now we can see few particles in the 3D world system, right? And I can see here point size. We can make it the large point size. Again, I'll just render this. So you can make it out around particles, correct? So this is how it comes up when it is rendered with Arnold. Now I'll just change it to spheres. What I'll do here is I'll just keep this image and I'll just change from point to spheres. So now you can make it out the difference between those two objects. You can see here it is giving you exact a 3D look, and here you will see a flat shape, correct? Now you can see here the shadows also in that case. But we are not looking for the spheres and sprites. What we are looking for is it's for blobby surfaces. Now one more thing into this, we can see here something is written SW. This is a software renderer. We can make it out in clouds and tubes as well. Okay. Well, from multi-point to streak, all this type of render type is hardware render. Now, since I have used Arnold renderer, so what happens ki it is getting render, no doubt. If I take like say streaks for an example, and I'll render. Okay. So now if I wish to change this tail size, I'll just go here and I'll increase the line width, tail size, so that I can see a good size of this streak size. So I should be able to see it, right? But still, if you try to render it out, this is how it is getting rendered. This is not the shape, the way the streaks look like. As I said earlier, this all these different types of particle render type, it doesn't supports each and every time this Arnold renderer. So we need to change as per the render type which is mentioned over here. So in this case, it is mentioning like this from multi-point, multi-streak, numeric, points, spheres, sprites, and streak. Now all these things supports Maya hardware. Okay. So now if I render this, you can make it out. It is nicely coming up. This is, we call it as a streaks. If I change to multi-streaks, it will have more number of like group of streaks you will find. More number of streaks will be there in that case. Okay. So I'll just reduce it and just render it out like this. If I'll go for points, look at this points, how it looks like. It is the way we see it in the viewport or the panel, same thing has been seen while rendering. Well, in case of Arnold, it was not supporting. Okay, so keep this thing in mind. All right, so next coming up to this blobby surface. So if I'll go for blobby surface and if I try to render this, this is how it is coming up. Now if I'll change from Maya hardware to Maya software, so this will come up something like this. So what I'll do here is I'll just change from Maya software to Arnold renderer back. And now if I'll render this, this will come up. Okay, so this is how it is going to come up. Now you can make it out here. This, no doubt, if we see in the viewport, this object is like spherical in shapes. But if I render in the, if I see in the render view, I can make it out this object has been fused to each other. Now that is due to the property of this blobby surface, right? So this is how this blobby surface looks like. All right, so we'll make something good product, yeah, good output from this one. So I'll just close this and I'll take a new file and what I'll do here is I'll hold the shift and right click. I'll go for a cylinder, get into polygon modeling tool, but before that, what I'll do here is I'll make a subdivision cap 0. After that, get into phase, select the phase, go for an extrude command and a bit of modeling, that's it. Again, I'll press extrude command and just let down. Okay, press 4 so that you come to know at what height it is. Fair enough. All right, so that is it. I'll come out of this and what I'll do here now is I'll fill this object with particles, right? So I'll just select this and get into n particles and I'll say fill the object. Simple. So now in this case, we can make it out. This object is filled with the particles. All right. So if I render this, I'll just keep this again and I'll render it out. I'm sorry, the light has been deleted. So again, get into Arnold, lights, and I'll say Skydome. So next what I'm going to do is I'm just selecting this and get into attribute editor. I'll just make this as blobby surfaces and if I just play, so what I can see, the particles are going out of it, right? The reason behind this is not getting collided with this cylinder. So what I'll do here is I'll select particle as well the cylinder and I'll get into unclock. Now you will assume you will think why unclock, because we are working with particles and why unclock, but actually we have that option in unclock. So that is the reason we are going into unclock and I'll say create passive collider. Okay, so just I have selected just cylinder, not both of them. So I by mistakenly I have selected both of them, but it is you need to select only the cylinder. All right. So rewind and play one more time. So you can see here all the particles are settled down. Correct. So now next is what? Why they are not colliding with each other, these particles. So we need to make some options visible for that. Then only it will collide with each other, right? So in that case, what I'll do here is I'll get into n particles, and into n particles, I have option available in collision, and into collision, I have a self collide option. So now, if I'll rewind and play, we can make it out. These particles are well behaving, and we can see it is perfectly working it out. Now, if I try to render this, okay, just have a look how it is going to look. I'll select these particles, and I'll move on for a new texture, a new shader. So I'll get into assign new material, and in this, I'm going to go for shader surface, and I'll go for AI standard. Where is it? Yeah, AI standard surface. So from this, I'll just render a small area. This is how it will come up. And what I'll do here is I'll simply apply one ready-made preset. You can see here presets. So I'll just go here, click, and I'll go for like for an example, I'll just say I'll just go for frosted glass in that case. So that is what we can see here in our output. Now next is what I'll do here is I'll just close this, and what I'll do is I'll just make an animation to this particle and to the object. Okay, so now I'll just rotate this. What? I'll just rotate this cylinder. Okay, so I hope the pivot point is right, and go to the first frame, channel box layer editor, z-axis. This is where we are going to animate. He selected, and on 30th frame, I'll just take it at this angle. I'll make it round figure minus 80. So now, oh sorry, I forgot to make a keyframe there. Minus 80 and select key selected. So now if I'll rewind and play, you can see all the particles will start falling down. And all right, so this is how it is coming up, and very nicely we can see the flow of particles are falling down. And what I'll do next is I'll get into nucleus and get into attribute editor, and in that I'm going to make the use of use plane. And now if I'll see rewind and play, so we can see all the particles are getting accumulated or getting collided on the surface. So now if I'll render this, we'll see how it is going to look. I'll just keep this image and render completely. So after rendering, we can see a good output which shows the blobby surfaces which is getting fused with each other, and we can make it out how this is getting fused, and the output is also looking very nice because of the render, right? So we have few more options in this. So I'll just go with the particles first, and what I'll do here is I'll just increase the particle size. In this case, I'll just make it, instead of 0.090, I'll increase to 0.1 first. Not much difference. So fair enough. Okay. Now if I render this, I'll keep this image as well. I'll do a save frame render also, so I can make it out exactly how much area it's going to see in the render view. So I'll keep this, and again I'll render it one more time. This is what we can see after increasing the particle size. So I'll just go back and I'll make it as 0.1 size. As well, what I'll do here is I'll just minimize this, and I'll just hold down shift and I'll go for this here. Get into modeling, delete the half part so that I can see, or I can collect few particles in this ball. I'll press Ctrl E for thickness. And what I'll do here is I'll just selecting this bowl. I'll get into envelope and even this object I'll make it as basic collider and play. So now we can see it is nicely get filled with the particles and we can layer on. I'll just stop it here and I'll just render it one more time. Keep this image and render it complete. I hope you understood the blobby surface of N particles in Maya. So subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for new upcoming videos. Click on thumbs up for like and share it with your friends. If any queries, write it in the comment box. Thank you so much for watching my video. मिलते हैं कुछ और एक्स्ट्रा टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स के साथ अगले वीडियो में. Thank you.